Hello and welcome back to a new episode. So you may have noticed there's been a little gap recently, and this is because I want to do a little update before we start into the episode this week, but there has been a bit of a shift behind the scenes on my strategy, my business strategy. I've completely audited it, revised what I'm doing, and I've talked about a lot when I'm working with clients recently about how you have different assets within your business. So you have your strategy is like the big thing, and there's different parts to it, and these are your assets within your business. So I'm talking things like podcasts, social media, email marketing list, maybe you have a YouTube channel, whatever these, streams you have to reach people, to communicate with and to market. And that's part of your strategy. And so I sat with mine this week and I have done a long overdue analysis of how I can better use them to streamline and have purpose and really dive deeper into what I'm great at, which is business management and systems and processes. So the podcast has been focused on these things this year, and I've loved the content I've created with it, and I've just worked out what I want to do with it, and it's been great to sit and do that. So there's been a slight gap because of that, and I have decided to do only 2 episodes a month from now on. I may have some guests that appear in here as well, but I just want to make sure that the content that I bring to you is potent as possible. It's going to give lots of value, and I can spend more time behind the scenes working on what I'm going to bring you as well, which I think is great. So yeah, there's going to be 2 episodes a month from now on. Don't get too upset though, because I still will be going live every single week, every Thursday, over on my social media channels. So if you go over to Instagram, which has now got a new name as part of the shift that's been happening. Honestly, so many things happening behind the scenes, but I practice what I preach. We always need to be auditing and moving forward. So my Instagram and my business page now on Facebook are both under my name. So I am still the Queen of Business Organisation, but I'm just changing and tweaking a few things, and I actually want to share the lesson in this and why I've made this move, because it's really, really important. Especially as today's episode is covering the 3 mistakes keeping you stuck at £2,000 a month or less income, and this is one of the things that might come up for you as well. So I want to hit my next level income bracket, and so this is part of a movement that needed to happen. So the reason I changed my name, so it's now DaniLouiseSmith.biz on Instagram, and then you can find me on Facebook at Dani Louise Smith, and I think my page is Dani Louise Smith Business Coach. And the reason that I made this shift is because I actually went to a training based event last month, which was great, and I walked into the room and the person hosting says they knew who I were, they knew my account, but they actually didn't know my name, and I thought that was really interesting. And it sat with me. So I introduced myself. Hi, I'm Dani. This is what I do. And then I thought about it. And last year, I had an opportunity and a speaking gig come up, which actually happened in July. And it was at Climb UK. And upon that recommendation, when I met Gordon, who runs Climb every single year here in Leeds, he said that he was sat at a meeting when he came across me. Someone said, have you heard of the Queen of Business Organisation? He was like, no, who's that? And he ended up meeting me. We had a coffee, and it led to being at that event, which was great. But I took myself back to that. Have you heard of the Queen of Business Organisation? It's not, nobody knows my name. And so I wanted to make this shift. I still am the Queen of Business Organisation. My website is still under the Queen of Business Organisation, but I'm leading with my faith, with my name, because I am who I am, and I'm the one that delivers the goods. Okay, so I've made that shift, and it was for that reason. It's a visibility piece. It's about being recognisable is who I am and leading with that, and that's just it. So I have had a lot of shifts, and there's been there's a few changes behind the scenes, and I'm loving the direction that it's all going in. So yeah, let's see what the future holds. But in today's episode, I wanted to talk to you about the three mistakes keeping you stuck at 2k or less per month within your business. Okay, and I chose this topic because I see a gap in the online marketing world when it comes to business coaches like myself, pitching and wanting to reach people. And the gap is, there is people that will teach you the startup and there's people that will teach you how to get to 6 figures. But what about the guys that are in between? There is lots of you that are in-betweeners. You are maybe around 2k or less per month and you want to scale to 5k. Maybe you're at 5k and you want to scale to 8k, which will take you to that 6 figures. But nobody's teaching you how to fill that gap. And so, insert me. I want to help with that. I want to help create freedom and fortune for those of you that are in this place. And so, I've recognised some common things that are happening that keep business owners stuck when you're running a business at this kind of level. And so, I want to talk to that today. So, if you're running a business and you're in this place, these 3 things today that I'm about to share with you are probably going to give you some light bulb moments, or maybe they're even going to talk to what you already know but have not been actioning, as I'm hoping will make some change today. So the first mistake is winging it instead of planning. And what that actually means is you're running a business without a growth strategy. Many businesses I see are stuck at this level every month because they're focusing on only short-term survival and not long-term strategy. And I've been in this position in the past myself. For me, what this looks like was my short-term, because I was looking at bringing in money right now and not about long-term survival for my business, which meant I couldn't keep investing, couldn't keep growing, was I would run something like a masterclass, which to get on my system, like create copy and put it on the web page, create the opt-in, create a sales sequence. I did all of that and I did it on a monthly basis. But it would bring an injection of income, which lasted for then, to serve that purpose that month, and then do it all over again. And there is a place for this. There absolutely is a place for doing this, for growth. However, putting all those hours in on a monthly basis, it can leave you stuck. And if you get used to doing that, it can mean that you are just replacing the income every month. Whereas if you work on something that focuses on a long-term survival strategy, you have a plan in place for that, it's going to be so much more effective. You might also be doing things like posting randomly, selling reactively, or chasing trends without clear direction. That is not a place that you want to run and operate your business from. So instead, I want you to think about how you can grow your business with a strategy. So this is by highlighting a clear offer. So having that clear offer in mind, and that's what you focus on. Having a clear audience that you're working with. And a sales process, because all of these are essential to break through income ceilings. It might be the opposite, that you're operating in a place where you're working with one-to-one clients. And so you're posting randomly, you're selling reactively, chasing trends, there's no clear direction, you're winging it instead of planning exactly what clear offer you're going to focus on, who it's for, and what the process is to lead the sales to that. It's only going to bring you in such a cap of income. And so this is why you want to ensure that you're not hitting a ceiling and that you're able to actually not just grow something within your business, but actually scale it as well. And this is why I like to lead by example. I have a mastermind, the Time Rich Mastermind, and part of what I've created here is I've created a service now where I'm not only able to grow it, but I'm able to scale it. So right now we have 4 ladies about to start with us in August. There is space for 2 more. And the idea I have is that I can grow this beyond that, because I want to deliver with purpose, with personalisation. And that is one of my biggest values, is that there is direct support. So I know that I'm capped if I fill that time and I fill that space with 6 people. However, there's nothing to stop me scaling that. So the way that I scale it is I will actually take this mastermind up to 20 people, but I'll add in other sessions. I'm still not trading time for money. One clear offer for a certain particular audience, and the process is already in place. So all I do is scale that by simply adding in another 2 hours over time every week where I get to deliver within that space. And plus we'll get to create a great community. And plus, when you fill that space, it means that you get to become what's the word? My words are not working today. My brain's not working great. I can't remember the word. There's a book based on this as well. But basically it's been full. So like you're fully booked. So then you can create a wait list so that the next time a space becomes available, it's snapped up. And it gets to be as easy as that. It's just about building up to that. The second mistake that you potentially could be making that'll leaving you stuck is that you're trying to do it all alone. And as a result of that, it's slowing down. And what I mean by alone is not hiring and outsourcing before you're ready, but it's building without systems or support. And what this means is that at this level, you're wearing all the hats. I know you are. You're doing the marketing, you're doing the admin, you're doing the delivery, and it's not feeling sustainable. And I get it, because you only have so much time. And a lot of the time, the cause of this is that there's resistance to outsourcing or creating systems because it feels too early. But that kind of system keeps you thinking keeps you stuck. Because while you're focusing on it being too early, I'm not ready yet for the time or the level of investment, it keeps you exactly where you are. Whereas if actually getting over that resistance to creating a system, I think first, being able to automate, for example, it makes a difference in giving you time back in your business to continue working on how you can grow it even more. So the things that are going to make the difference of implementing systems, because if you don't have a systems and processes that you can follow, for example, if you're doing repeatable tasks in your business, or maybe even find the repeatable tasks to create yourself a little checklist, a system that you can follow that makes it easy. The second thing you can do is obviously automate. Take tasks that you are repeating and look at how you can automate them. Because when you do that first, you're giving yourself time back to continue working on the things that are going to grow the business, so it stops slowing you down. Then you can get to a point where you are making more money because you're working with more clients, and you can actually start with some basic outsourcing to free up even more time, and then as a result of that, unlock more time to grow, to unlock more time to work with clients, to bring in more income. So it all leads and falls into, it's like a domino effect, right? How you do anything is how you do everything. It's never too early. Just thinking that it's too early is what's keeping you stuck. So it's just something to be mindful of. And then the third mistake you possibly could be making is that you're just playing small and it's costing you. This is usually as a result of mindset and energy misalignment. I see it all the time in people that I have conversations with, people that I've worked with, where it possibly is that you're pricing too low and underestimating the value of your services or what you have, or lacking the confidence in visibility. And sometimes I actually see people getting really, really visible, and they're everywhere. They're talking about what they do, but when it comes to getting the client over the line, offering discounts and underestimating the value of the service that you offer. I see this most commonly in businesses like healers and therapists. Unfortunately, I'm calling you guys out because I see it a lot there. Not wanting to give the money over. Get the money. You want the money, but feel afraid to ask for it. And there's a lot of money mindset work there. There's a lot of energy alignment as well that needs to happen. And these mindset traps keep you in a cycle of undercharging and overworking, because you might find that you're putting in the hours, but you're not actually getting the payment for that service, because maybe you've done a service swap, because you've convinced yourself you need what that person's got to offer you, and that it'll be great to get a testimonial for the work that you do, or because you've given it for free because you feel sorry for the person and you genuinely want to help. And it's great wanting to genuinely help, but it's also great for you to get paid as well. So shifting your mindset and your energy around sales can help you grow past that point. I've seen some successful business owners in this exact industry that are making consistent 1k, 2k months on a one-to-one basis, serving their therapists with a desire to get visible and get it out there. But when it comes to the actual strategic work, the sales processes, it doesn't exist. And actually, what happens here is these three mistakes, they kind of come as one. Because if you're being visible but you're playing small and you're not selling your service, as a result of that, you're not actually having processes and a strategy in place. You're winging it instead of planning, which means growth doesn't happen, so you can't build the systems or get the support that you need to invest in your growth further with more time, with more money, because you're in that cycle of spending time with people that are not paying you or spending money on things that are not growing your business. So it really does become a catch-22, and it's actually about adapting and looking at where you can break that cycle. So the first place you can break that cycle is make some time to sit down to plan out that strategy. Just start with the things that I've talked about in this episode. Highlight a clear offer that you're going to sell, the audience that you're going to communicate it to, and put a loose sales plan in place. It doesn't have to be too structured right now. Look at how you can stop doing it all alone so that you're not slowing down and you're actually ramping up, getting your service out there. So look at what systems you can put in place, what automation you can put in place, or maybe even some basic outsourcing if you feel ready for it. But finally, look at how you can stop playing small so that it's not costing you anymore. Look at how you can ask for the sale, ask for the payment, because this is what will lead you into being an effective salesperson. So I hope this episode has helped you today. I'm really excited to see where we go with this. As always, please get in touch, share some feedback. I'd love to hear what you've got to say about this episode and how it's helped you. And make some suggestions, like what do you want to hear when it comes to how you operate your business, how you're organised in business. I'm open to it all so that I can bring the best content possible here for me to share with you so that you can deliver your business, get results and help more people, because it's all about that ripple effect, and I love the impact that me helping you can have on other people too. So yeah, I'm going to leave you on that note today, and I hope to see you overcome these 3 common mistakes in the near future, and let me know any wins that you have.